For centuries, powerful shinobi clans engaged in relentless warfare, their conflicts driven by a relentless pursuit of total dominance over Japan. Yet, amid the tumultuous battles and the clash of swords, a sinister undercurrent took root. The violence and bloodshed gave rise to a malevolent energy, one that cast a dark shadow over the land. This malevolent energy became a beacon, luring demons from the depths of hell to invade the country and possess its residents. Recognizing the dire threat, the shinobi clans cast aside their long-standing rivalries, uniting in a resolute stand to protect humanity. Legend speaks of a deity emerging from the celestial realm, revealing themselves before the united shinobi. Revealing an ancient trial, completion of which would bestow the shinobi with an array of incredible powers. These newfound abilities held the potential to aid them in banishing the demons back to the depths of hell. Aware that this marked only the start and anticipating the demons' resurgence, the surviving shinobi established the Crimson Star Empire, under the leadership of the Crimson Hero. The deity then severed this empire from the constraints of time, entrusting them with safeguarding the First Flame. Endowed with a godly energy, the First Flame holds the ability to break the seal imprisoning the demon god the Fallen. Whispers persist that even now, the opposing forces wage their concealed war in the shadows. A warrior strides toward the palace, wielding a sword in one hand and clutching a bag in the other. He bows and kneels before his lord, affirming that the assigned task had been successfully accomplished. Lord Crimson inquires about the disposition of the body. From the bag comes out the hands of his foe, stating that he has fled but took his arms in the process. Unconvinced, the Lord declares his intention to dispatch the cells to locate the fugitive and eliminate him. The warrior raises a question regarding the cells. In response, the master emphasizes the utmost secrecy of the mission, stressing that even the clan heads must remain unaware to avoid dishonoring the Crimson Empire. The warrior nodded in understanding, yet a lingering question remained in his thoughts. Yasuke, assigned to a secret mission against his own formidable mentor, wondered how the Lord could be certain victory was attainable. The Crimson Lord responded that his adversary had forsaken his family for power, sacrificing all he vowed to safeguard in his insatiable pursuit of clan leadership. However, Yasuke's sole aspiration is to protect the vulnerable through strength. The Crimson Lord had observed him for years, conquering challenges that had defeated others. Upon receiving these words, a profound sense of fulfillment blossomed across Yasuke. The Lord explained that Yasuke's foe, the Night Hand, sought strength through absorbing demon souls into his blade. But lacking a strong will, this negative energy would corrupt and devour his soul. Nonetheless, Yasuke managed to overcome the Night Hand. This achievement led the Lord to proclaim Yasuke as the new clan head, bestowing upon him this prestigious title. The Lord excuses Yasuke, noting that the warrior's wife is anticipating his return. Simultaneously, the Crimson Lord prepares to mobilize the cells to conclusively resolve the matter. As the story continues, Yasuke hops branch to branch as swiftly as possible, excited to see his wife and share the news of him becoming the new clan head. Under the luminous glow of a crescent moon, Yasuke arrives at his destination. Informed by the guards, Yasuke learns that his wife is waiting within. Upon entering, Yasuke is startled by a loud scream. To his astonishment, it's his wife who is on the brink of giving birth. Our valiant warrior rushes towards his wife's side, his heart filled with a mixture of concern and anticipation. However, Aniko's concern centers on the blood staining her husband's form. Yasuke consoles her, assuring Aniko that the blood isn't his. Aniko, however, is in noticeable discomfort, her face strained from the intensity of the contractions. Abruptly, another warrior places his hands firmly on the ground and begins the sealing ritual, channeling his focus into the intricate process. Suddenly, a deafening bang reverberates from the outside. Confused by the situation, Yasuke struggles to comprehend the events and urgently demands an explanation for the disturbance outside. A sensation of unease courses through Yasuke's senses, hinting that something is amiss. Out of nowhere, another warrior enters and urgently informs the clan head that the temple's defenses have been breached. Yasuke presses for an explanation, demanding to know the details of the situation outside. However, in a sudden twist, the warrior begins emanating a sinister dark aura. Sensing the escalating tension, Yasuke instructs the others to complete the ritual swiftly. The warrior who recently arrived continues to exude a terrifying aura, its intensity growing. Suddenly, something resembling a dark entity begins to emerge from the warrior's body. A grotesque hand, as if clawing its way from within, slowly inches its way out of the warrior's form, contorted and ominous. With a sudden burst of motion, it lunges forth, the whole arm outstretched. Yasuke is rendered speechless, disbelief gripping him as he beholds the surreal scene unfolding before his very eyes. A creature emerges from the body, remarking on the difficulty of its entry and emphasizing that using the guard's body was the only way to make it possible. Aware of the resilience of shinobi against possession, Yasuke's anger flares as he demands to know the identity of the demon standing before him. Offended, the creature commands the shinobi to be silent. Asserting his distinction from lower hell demons, the creature clarifies that he hails from the sixth hell, a realm apart. A shinobi identifies the mark on the creature's head, linking it to that of the fallen, and proceeds to label the entity as the Black Halo Demon. Swiftly responding, he directs another shinobi to swiftly erect a protective barrier around the mother. Understanding the urgency, the other shinobi immediately begins channeling energy, focusing on creating the required barrier. Yet, with a single malevolent smirk from the demon, the shinobi's life is abruptly extinguished as his head is twisted by an unseen hand that materializes above him. The shinobi and Aniko cannot believe their eyes. Yasuke, too, is taken aback by the sudden and unexpected assault. The Black Halo Demon adamantly refuses to be referred to as a demon, expressing disdain for the term as he finds it unappealing. The surviving shinobi urgently informs Yasuke that they must depart, explaining that without the presence of the other shinobi, he cannot execute the protective ritual effectively. Yasuke concurs and informs Aniko that he will create a diversion to allow her to escape. Aniko, filled with concern, urges Yasuke not to hold back, emphasizing that his adversary hails from the sixth hell and poses a significant threat. Yasuke issues a command to Aniko, instructing her to run, and she flees with all her might. Yasuke's body springs into a burst of swift motion, propelling him behind the demon in a seamless display of agility. His feet touch down gracefully on the opposite side, every movement deliberate and calculated. Meanwhile, the demon, its preternatural instincts finely honed, anticipates Yasuke's actions and attacks with lethal intent. The sheer force of the demon's attack propels Yasuke backward, sending him hurtling through the air. Unaware of the demon's overwhelming might, Yasuke crashes into the wall with a resounding impact. The force is so potent that he smashes through it, the wall unable to withstand the collision. The demon asserts that its target isn't Yasuke. Nevertheless, a sudden realization dawns upon it as it notices that Aniko has already escaped the scene. Unperturbed by the turn of events, the demon's demeanor remains unaffected, fully aware that the current situation holds little significance. Without hesitation, it initiates a process, emanating a sinister aura that births a multitude of small, demon-like spawnlings. These eerie creatures, born from its very form, take flight across the temple's expanse. Their eyes gleam with malevolence as they scour the surroundings, seeking out lifeless forms. Their aim is clear. It is to locate deceased bodies and seize the opportunity to enter and possess them, a chilling manifestation of their dark intent. Under the malevolent control of the demon, the possessed undead shinobi now move at its command. The chilling orders it issues are grim and sinister, directing them to forcefully extract the baby from Aniko's womb and to bring her severed head to him as a separate act. In a sudden turn of events, a figure hurtles back into view, catching the demon's attention in a moment of surprise. It's Yasuke, resolute determination blazing in his eyes, his presence an embodiment of unwavering resolve to halt the demon's malevolent machinations. Even the demon is compelled to acknowledge the potency of the Crimson Shinobi before it. With a fiery determination that matches the flames of his clan, Yasuke declares his intent with unshakable resolve. His eyes, fierce and unwavering, burn with an uncontainable determination as he proclaims that he will banish the demon back to the depths of hell from which it emerged. Prologue 2. However, the demon coldly reminds Yasuke that while his wife may have eluded its grasp for the moment, her fate is to be doomed. Confident in his wife's capabilities, Yasuke asserts that Aniko has the resilience to look after herself, even in the moments leading up to giving birth. Steeling himself, Yasuke readies for action, interjecting sternly as he orders the demon to cease discussing his wife. With a sinister tone, the demon cynically informs the shinobi that they are incapable of grasping the gravity of the impending events that will transpire tonight. Rushing forward with unbridled determination, the demon exclaims to Yasuke that the birth of the child will signal the commencement of the end. Fueled by the demon's words, Yasuke's eyes blaze with a fiery determination, their intensity a reflection of his unwavering resolve. Regaining his composure with a deep breath, he steadies his stance, muscles coiled in anticipation. With the oncoming attack imminent, he channels his focused energy, prepared to meet the challenge head-on and prove his indomitable spirit. Yasuke then taps into the depths of the secret ninja art, invoking its power as his hand ignites in blazing flames. He releases a barrage of fiery bolts in rapid succession, each streaking through the air like a comet. The demon charges headlong towards the onslaught, its movements as sinuous and graceful as a shadow, effortlessly slithering through the fiery projectiles with sinister agility, and dismissively labels the attack as utterly pathetic. However, that initial onslaught was merely a diversion, for Yasuke now hovers above the demon, his hand ablaze with flames that dance with the ferocity of a blazing comet. With unyielding determination emanating from his eyes, Yasuke initiates his counterattack, his gaze an unwavering beacon of resolute purpose. Yasuke unleashes a fierce assault, his fire-infused energy converging into a blazing beam of intense brilliance. The beam streaks forth like a celestial meteor, tearing through the temple's walls, determined to engulf the demon in its fiery conflagration. Yet, defying the odds, the demon skillfully sidesteps the attack while airborne, evading the fiery onslaught unscathed. The demon acknowledges Yasuke's speed. Yasuke, on the other hand, casually compliments that the demon is ugly. However, with not a moment to spare, a hand materializes through a portal directly behind the shinobi, leaving him with just enough time to narrowly evade its grasp. Yet, the onslaught doesn't relent, compelling him into a dance of evasive maneuvers. As Yasuke reaches at the end of the wall, the demon's face contorts in a rare display of discomfort. His eyes fall upon his arm, the one that had ventured through the portal, now adorned with numerous cuts that ooze crimson. Yasuke's maneuvers wasn't merely evasive but strategic. Amidst the dodges, he had been meticulously slicing at the attacking hand with his kunai. Still perched on the wall, Yasuke channels another secret ninja technique, conjuring lightning that takes form from his palm. With a burst of energy, he releases a surge of electrifying power, Lightning Viper. Yasuke propelling himself like a coiled spring towards the demon, akin to a striking snake poised to bite. In a lightning-quick maneuver, Yasuke's body streaks through the air, his trajectory colliding with the demon's form. The impact is relentless, his momentum unyielding as he propels himself onward while airborne, leaving shattered pillars in a trail behind him. Finally, he halts, his momentum stilled against the wall, having executed a dynamic display of prowess that reverberates through the battlefield. Exuding confidence, Yasuke remarks that his Lightning Viper technique has yet to encounter an adversary capable of evasion. However, the demon questions its facts. Yasuke's realization dawns as he comprehends that the demon has skillfully exchanged places with another shinobi. Emerging from the shadows, the terrifying demon's voice drips with dark amusement as he whispers to Yasuke from behind, questioning the way the shinobi treat their fallen comrades. Infused with anger, Yasuke attempts to pivot and launch an attack at the demon once more, only to be met with a sudden and brutal blow to his neck. The impact of the attack propels Yasuke through the air, his body hurtling across the expanse of the temple and crashing against the opposite side. Exuding confidence in his perceived triumph, the demon bids his farewell with a sinister smile. He charges himself for another devastating attack, fully convinced of his impending victory. Shifting the scene, our focus transitions to Akino, who is now racing away from the temple in a desperate bid for safety. Amid her frantic flight, a deep worry for Yasuke grips Akino's thoughts. However, a sudden realization dawns upon her as now is not the time for his concern. The urgency of her situation becomes paramount as she senses other adversaries in pursuit. Seeking to create some distance, she initiates the channeling of a secret ninja art. Her focus hones on a nearby tree, and with a deft touch, she taps into its hidden power. As her pursuers draw closer, an unexpected twist of nature's wrath unfolds. Branches thrust forth from the tree's trunk, impaling the oncoming assailants. Yet, despite the onslaught, Akino realizes a handful manage to evade the arboreal assault and continue their pursuit. Amidst the shadowy night, under the glistening crescent moon, two more pursuers close in, positioned directly above her, poised to strike at Aniko. As her escape persists, the unrelenting contractions add to her challenges. Despite the pain, she fervently prays, her voice a whisper in the night, beseeching the unborn child to grant her a precious bit more time. Amid the escalating pursuit, the pursuers begin to deploy secret ninja arts. She comprehends that these unyielding assailants are none other than crimson shinobis. Their very beings possessed and manipulated by dark forces. As one adversary closes in, Akino's survival instincts kick in, compelling her to defend against a high knee kick. Summoning her inner strength, she counters with unwavering determination, channeling every ounce of power into a fierce punch. The force of her blow propels the possessed shinobi backward, and with a resounding impact, he collides with a nearby tree. Nevertheless, as her contractions intensify, Aniko's strength wanes. Amidst her struggle, she persists in her plea to the unborn child, entreating it to endure just a while longer. Yet, in a cruel twist of fate, as she attempts to rise, a formidable bolt of energy is unleashed upon her, its power overwhelming. The impact hurls her through the air, a helpless figure propelled by the force of the assault. Akino tumbles and fumbles across the ground, her unwavering focus fixed on protecting the precious life within her. As she nears the mountain's edge, the peril grows. Just as the precipice threatens to claim her, she manages to clutch onto the edge with a desperate grip, her fingers locking onto the rocky surface with an iron determination. Now suspended on the cliff's edge, Aniko's grip remains her sole lifeline. She finds herself in a precarious position, as her pursuers loom directly above her, their sinister intentions evident as they channel yet another deadly ninja art skill, poised to strike her down. Realizing the brink of her mortality, Akino's voice trembles with resignation as she offers a heartrending apology to Yasuke in her final moments. Yet, just as the shadows of death seem to close in, another ninja, their presence unexpected, channels a powerful art. In a breathtaking spectacle, phoenix-shaped flames soar through the darkness, obliterating the possessed shinobis with its cleansing inferno. A surge of disbelief washes over Akino, her eyes widening in astonishment as the shinobi priest materializes before her very eyes, a timely savior amidst the chaos. As the night remains young, a new life enters the world, the cries of a newborn piercing the air. Amidst the dawning of this fragile existence, the shinobi priest's voice carries a weighty declaration. He turns to Akino and solemnly proclaims that the sealing ritual is no longer a viable option. The gravity of the situation dawns upon them both, as he explains that the only recourse now is to eliminate the newborn, a grim necessity to prevent the release of the fallen. Akino's gaze shifts downward, a blend of maternal love, protectiveness, and the weight of the harrowing decision before her. Meanwhile, the shinobi priest attempts to sway her with a logical argument, emphasizing that the child's destiny had been sealed with the fall of the other priest in battle. Tears stream down Akino's face as she clutches her baby, her heart heavy with desperation, pleads for an alternative path. The shinobi priest, his resolve unwavering, acknowledges her anguish but concedes that no other option remains. He gently urges Akino to step aside and relinquish her child. Back to the ongoing battle between Yasuke and the demon, the relentless onslaught propels the shinobi through multiple walls, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. Seizing the moment, the demon taunts Yasuke, stating that the caliber of the shinobi clan has fallen over the ages. In a rare moment of respite, with a touch of lightheartedness, Yasuke jests about his dislike for conceding to Akino's insights. The demon's expression shifts, a flicker of displeasure crossing his features as Yasuke has managed to endure the onslaught. Perched upon a shattered pillar, Yasuke acknowledges the formidable might of sixth hell demons. Descending back to the ground, he readies himself for the battle ahead, his conviction unwavering. With Aniko's distance affording him freedom from restraint, he no longer feels compelled to hold back, his determination ignited anew. Yasuke's fingers curl around the hilt of his katana, his grip unyielding. In a single, fluid motion, he draws the blade from its sheath. The tip of the katana finds its mark, pointing unflinchingly at the looming demon before him. Yasuke, steady and resolute, cuts through the tension as he declares that the time has come to bring this conflict to its long-awaited conclusion. Unfazed and devoid of fear, the demon taunts Yasuke with brazen arrogance, Prologue 3 proclaiming that he cannot be vanquished by a mere devourer of the shinobi. Yasuke remains steadfast, unaffected by the demon's words. He plants his feet firmly on the ground and assumes a resolute stance. Drawing upon his inner reserves, Yasuke channels his power, weaving it into a formidable aura that engulfs him in an aura of reckoning energy. The intensity of his focus is palpable, his connection with his blade so profound that he senses it vibrating on a distinct wavelength, resonating with his heightened state. Fully prepared, Yasuke raises his sword with unwavering determination. In a defiant retort to the demon's taunts, he declares that the demon will serve as a fitting addition to the myriad of negative energies his blade has already absorbed. Having exhausted patience for banter, the sixth hell demon readies himself to unleash the attack he has been charging with focused intensity. At long last, he unleashes a torrent of energy from his chest, a menacing beam of teal-blue hue that sears through the air with an aura of malevolence. Anticipating the oncoming assault, Yasuke takes a deep breath, his body poised with readiness. His grip tightens around the hilt of his katana as he prepares for his own decisive counterattack, determination fueling his every movement. With a swift, sweeping motion, Yasuke sends the heaven's crescent hurtling through the air, a slash that glows with a lucent brilliance. The blade blazes with brilliance as it carves a luminous path through the beam with an almost ethereal grace. Emerging from the clash unscathed, the blade continues its relentless journey, tracing a path ablaze with its own determined light, hurtling toward the demon like a vengeful comet on a collision course with destiny. Left with no alternative, the demon is compelled to swiftly sidestep the oncoming assault. Infuriated by the close call, Yasuke's adversary channels additional spells with his fingertips, conjuring forth more arcane energy. The demon unleashes a formidable attack. A menacing onslaught resembling 5 serpents poised to strike. As the menacing attack hurtles towards him, Yasuke's sharp gaze locks onto the oncoming threat. Summoning his agility, Yasuke propels himself into a powerful leap, narrowly evading the strike. The attack, now off course, crashes into the ground with a cataclysmic impact. The resulting collision gouges deep craters into the earth, propelling hefty boulders skyward in a chaotic display of unleashed power. Amidst the chaos and the aftermath of his own attack, the demon finds himself disoriented, unable to discern Yasuke's whereabouts as he searches for any sign of the elusive shinobi. Suddenly, Yasuke's hand connects with the demon's visage in a resounding impact, driving the malevolent entity downward with formidable force. The collision generates a powerful shockwave that radiates outward from the epicenter of their clash, causing the very earth to shudder beneath the force of their collision. Evident agony contorts the demon's features, yet Yasuke's determination remains unyielding. Maintaining an unrelenting grip on his adversary's visage, Yasuke drags him along the ground, forcing the demon to endure further torment as he's pulled relentlessly forward. Amidst the seemingly tranquil ambience at the temple's entrance, a sudden disturbance ruptures the peace as the demon is forcefully expelled by Yasuke's powerful blow, hurtling through the air and shattering the calm surroundings. As the demon skids across the ground, gradually distancing himself from the temple's vicinity, he employs his menacing demon-like claws to dig into the earth, striving to halt his momentum and bring himself to a stop. However, Yasuke's resolve remains unshaken, and he relentlessly pursues the demon outside. In response to the imminent threat, the demon focuses his waning strength to summon yet another attack, this time drawing upon the wellspring of energy within his chest. With a fierce surge, he releases the amassed energy in a formidable blast aimed directly at the oncoming shinobi. But Yasuke kicks the beam and deflects it towards the sky. The sixth hell demon, his disbelief evident in his expression, is momentarily left stunned by the unforeseen reversal of fate. Elevated to a new level of prowess, Yasuke prepares to unleash a devastating counterattack, determined to crush his adversary into the ground. As he makes contact with the ground, a seismic upheaval reverberates through the surroundings, causing everything in its vicinity to tremble and rumble. Unfortunately for Yasuke, the demon narrowly evades the impending stomp. The demon comes to a stark realization that Yasuke transcends the realm of ordinary shinobi. Yasuke's determination undeterred, he charges forward, resolute in his determination to see this battle through to its conclusion. Recognizing that his current level of power is insufficient, the demon readies himself to unleash an attack of cataclysmic proportions, one that threatens to engulf the entire vicinity. With both his hands outstretched, he channels and concentrates the swirling maelstrom of dark energy, drawing from the surrounding darkness to augment his formidable might. Sensing the convergence of the malevolent energy around him, Yasuke becomes acutely aware of the ominous power coalescing into a singular focal point. In response, the demon unleashes a sinister attack in the form of a malevolent skull-shaped entity, charged with dark energy, hurtling toward Yasuke with malevolent intent. Planting his sword resolutely into the ground, Yasuke braces himself to confront the impending onslaught head-on. Yasuke positions himself in direct opposition to the advancing attack. He stretches his hands out toward the oncoming assault to halt its relentless advance. In a deafening proclamation, the demon derides Yasuke as a fool, asserting that the engulfing dark energy will devour all life in its path. As the oppressive force of the dark attack pushes against him, Yasuke struggles to hold his ground. The intensity of the energy tears his clothes, shredding them to pieces around his hand, a testament to the formidable power he contends with. However, he is not ready to give up. With unyielding determination burning in his eyes, Yasuke continues to resist the overwhelming force of the dark attack. The fiery resolve in his gaze mirrors his unwavering commitment to protect everything he holds dear. He pulls back his arm, and with a surge of raw power, his fist collides with the malevolent force, and in a display of sheer strength, he tears a hole right through the menacing darkness, creating a rift in its malefic grip. The demon is utterly astonished by the shinobi's audacious action, his eyes widening in disbelief as he witnesses the seemingly impossible. This unstoppable force of darkness halted in its tracks by the sheer willpower of a mere human. For the first time, a tremor runs through the demon's imposing form, a sensation he is unaccustomed to. He senses Yasuke's energy continuing to surge, growing stronger with an intensity that unsettles even the demon himself. In a split second, the demon is caught off guard as Yasuke launches himself towards the malevolent entity. With a swift and fiery strike of his katana, Yasuke slashes through the demon's defenses, delivering a searing blow. Desperate to regain control, the demon attempts to retaliate by summoning more deadly beams of energy. Struggling to defend himself against the relentless onslaught, the demon realizes he's on the brink of defeat. In a desperate move, he attempts to channel his strongest attack once more. Having become adept at anticipating the demon's techniques, Yasuke readies his lightning-infused katana, poised to strike the demon before he can launch another attack. Yasuke's katana pierces through the demon's core, sending a surge of electrifying energy coursing through its body. With focused precision, Yasuke employs his signature technique, the negative light, channeling the power of lightning through his strike. The attack cleaves through the demon's core like lightning, leaving behind a trail of brilliance. Left with a gaping hole through its body, the demon crumbles to the floor, collapsing to its knees in disbelief. As its strength wanes, it utters a desperate inquiry, asking the identity of its victorious opponent. He reveals himself as Sango Yasuke, one of the 9 clan heads and the epitome of authority within the Crimson Empire, emphasizing that the demon's imminent demise renders the information inconsequential. Confronted with the imminent threat of the katana, the demon demands to know if this is the same power Yasuke used to defeat the Night Hand. Yasuke pieces together the puzzle, realizing how the demon discovered the temple's location through the Night Hand. Under the persistent gleam of the crescent moon, the focus shifts back to the shinobi priest, his palms generating a swirling circle of energy. As the shinobi priest advances, drawing nearer to Aniko, the weight of his decision presses heavily upon him. He understands that sacrificing the baby's life might be the price for maintaining the fragile balance of the world's peace. Aniko, her eyes filled with tears, pleads fervently until the very last moment, desperately seeking an alternative solution. The priest's patience wears thin, and he prepares to deliver the fatal blow. However, just as he is about to strike, an oncoming fireball hurtles toward him, interrupting his action. The explosion erupts in front of Aniko, sending both her and the baby flying backward. Amidst the echoing footsteps drawing closer to Aniko, she clings tightly to the baby in her arms, her heart racing as she realizes that the possessed shinobi have tracked them down. Among them, one holds the charred remains of the incinerated shinobi priest. Aniko's realization sinks in deeper as she comprehends that the threat won't subside, even if they manage to survive, because the crucial sealing ritual remains unfinished. Thus, not only the demons but also the Empire itself will be after the baby's life. For now, she gently places the baby on the ground and with unwavering determination, Aniko positions herself protectively in front of the baby, her voice firm as she speaks, proclaiming that Yasuke must continue his journey and take care of Sakiryu. Standing her ground as a wife, Aniko refuses to place Yasuke in the position of choosing between her and the Empire. She knows that such a decision is not something she could ever ask of him. With that in mind, Aniko summons her sword, which glows with a radiant blue energy. The adversaries poised to charge at the mother, Akino readies herself to strike with the materialized sword in hand. The possessed shinobi surge toward her, and with resolute courage, Akino meets their charge head-on, ready to sacrifice everything to protect her family. A colossal explosion engulfs the mountain's peak, its blinding brilliance visible from a distance on the ground. Yasuke's senses tingle with familiarity, and he wonders if the explosion was caused by Akino. His gaze sharpens as he looks in the direction of the blast, a mix of concern and determination in his eyes. Yasuke's attention wavers as the explosion seizes his focus. In the midst of this distraction, the demon senses an opportune moment. The demon's claws lunge toward Yasuke's face, and in an unexpected turn, the demon's claws graze Yasuke's eye. He instinctively swings his sword in a defensive motion to push the demon back, but the damage is done. Blood trickles from the wound on his eye, leaving him wounded and impaired. Summoning a swirling portal, the demon mocks Yasuke, reminding him that this is merely the beginning of the torment he plans to inflict upon him. Retreating through the portal, the demon's words linger in the air. He vows to never forgive Yasuke for robbing him of this moment and intriguingly suggests that while the demon has lost, Yasuke might have lost not just one, but 2 things. And just like that, the demon vanishes through the portal, leaving no trace behind, and the portal itself dissipates into thin air. His heart races as he wonders about Aniko's well-being, a sense of urgency and concern compelling him to take swift action. He gazes at the distant sight, a mixture of anxiety and determination in his single eye, his mind racing through possibilities and potential outcomes. Amidst the thunderous downpour, Yasuke presses on toward the explosion's origin, rain-soaked and undeterred. Upon reaching the mountain's base, Yasuke's gaze fixes upon the summit, where the explosion had shattered the serenity. There, he finds an incinerated hand and a piece of jewelry. The piece of jewelry Yasuke discovers is none other than Aniko's golden earrings. As the storm rages on, an inferno of grief ignites within Yasuke's chest. The sight before him is a cruel tableau of devastation. His every step toward her the form is a struggle against the maelstrom that mirrors the tempest in his heart. Once steady and unyielding, his hands now tremble uncontrollably from the storm of emotion within. These hands that held, fought, and cherished, now falter in disbelief, mirroring his shattered world and the ache that rends his heart. Tears mingle with the rain, tracing rivulets down his battered and bloodied face, one eye blinded by the very blood spilled in battle, the other clouded by the deluge of sorrow. His teeth clench, a physical manifestation of the emotional tempest he's weathering. And then, like a lone wolf's mournful howl piercing through the darkest of nights, Yasuke releases a heart-wrenching cry. A primal scream of disbelief, agony, and the wrenching loss that threatens to consume him whole. In this moment, the storm within him matches the storm around, as nature itself seems to grieve with him for the love that's been cruelly torn away. Meanwhile, at the heart of the Crimson Star Empire's headquarters, a young boy named Sakurio innocently queries his Aunt Mizuki about the return of his mother tonight. Aunt Mizuki assures him that everything will be alright and that he'll get to meet his new little brother in the morning. The young boy's face lights up with joy, eagerly agreeing to go to bed, excited about the prospect of meeting his new sibling. 13 years later. In a sprawling metropolis surrounded by towering buildings, their architecture perfectly suited for parkour, a young boy in a gray hoodie runs through the urban landscape. His vibrant red and white shoes splash through a puddle on the rooftops as he jumps from one building to another, his agile form propelled by urgency. He insists that he can't afford to be late. Chapter 1. Bounding from one rooftop to another, the young boy lands with a hint of worry etched on his face. He can't shake the feeling that someone else might beat him in what appears to be an impromptu race. In a swift motion, another individual takes over his path. The determined young kid with resolve in his eyes vows not to lose so easily. With determination fueling his every move, he dashes toward the building where the unknown individual is perched. He pours all his strength into a final leap, propelling himself off the edge of the rooftop. As he ascends, his toes barely manage to grasp the edge, and he dangles momentarily. Despite his valiant effort, his grip falters under his own weight. His eyes widen in shock as he teeters on the edge, his heart racing. In a desperate moment, he cries out, his voice echoing through the cityscape, facing the terrifying prospect of plummeting to the ground below. In a split second, a strong hand reaches out and clasps his, preventing his inevitable fall. To his astonishment, it's the same unknown individual who had overtaken him moments ago, now extending a lifeline to save him from the brink. With a calm yet firm tone, the individual advises the kid to exercise caution, reminding him that death also equals to a loss. In a split second, a mischievous grin flashes across the kid's face. He quickly channels his energy, using a powerful kick against the building's surface to launch himself back up onto the rooftop. With fluid grace, he executes a breathtaking somersault, effortlessly sailing past the individual who had just saved him. Touching down with a playful flourish, the kid chuckles and nods appreciatively toward the individual who had lent a hand. With renewed determination, he sprints forward, his energy fully ignited, as he charges ahead in what appears to be an exhilarating rooftop race. With each bound, the young boy leaps from rooftop to rooftop, a whirlwind of exuberance and speed. He revels in the exhilaration of the chase, confident that the individual won't be able to catch up to him now, their presence gone from his sight. With a final burst of energy, the boy propels himself towards a nearby balcony, skillfully grabbing onto the rail with his impressive parkour finesse. Triumphantly, he breaks into a celebratory dance, convinced that he has emerged victorious in this thrilling rooftop race. As he gracefully slides through the balcony door, ready to head for a well-deserved lunch, a surprise awaits him. Suddenly, a hand flies out of nowhere, striking him squarely in the gut with a forceful punch. Grimacing in pain, the kid clutches his stomach, clearly affected by the unexpected blow. The individual, not holding back, accuses him of cheating. Trying to save face, the kid stammers out an excuse, claiming his move was just an improvisation. Nonetheless, confusion lingers in his eyes as he struggles to comprehend how he lost despite his efforts. Yet, his focus quickly shifts as the kettle's whistle signals the water is ready. Ignoring his discomfort, the kid's expression brightens with anticipation. He knows he's just in time for his favorite quick meal, instant curry noodles. Saliva drips from the corner of his mouth as he impatiently counts down, his eagerness to devour the noodles growing with each passing second. In a swift and familiar scene reminiscent of an Asian household, a slipper hurtles through the air toward him. Reacting with practiced anticipation, the kid swiftly ducks beneath the incoming slipper, causing it to sail harmlessly past him. With a triumphant laugh, he playfully taunts the individual for their missed shot. Yet, his victory is short-lived, as another slipper suddenly finds its mark, striking him squarely in the face. The unexpected thrower turns out to be none other than his mother, who sternly reminds him to wash his hands before eating. The video concludes here, marking the end of part 1. However, we observe that Hinako is not dead, and our story has only just begun. We sincerely hope you will hit the subscribe button and leave comments to support the Manhwa Recap World channel. Thank you for watching the entire video.